our people's property. Don't know who doing it, so don't round me out. Don't send no police round me and tell me shush my mouth. Where's our conviction? But where's our pride? We selling everything, selling our backside. Just go online, it'll make you sick. You can buy any island, just point and click. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our hey, hey. Ride him. My mother always say, when you find a donkey, ride it. Who's the donkey? What? Come on. We got a whole nation in 73. Now we getting back the whole country. What kind of fools we must be, selling out for a bag of rice and a cup of tea. You know what does bug me? Help me understand. I can't find piece of property for under 80 grand. But I can fix this, I know what to do. I can squat just like them other people try make me do. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our everybody sells some every time. Giddy up, giddy up. Come on. Oh, no. Let's go. Who's the donkey again? They're selling one island. Give away one key. What can be left for you and me? Is this the example? What's our kids to do? You want them have a sense of pride, or go selling too? Cause they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes man. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling
Guard engages in a uniform pattern and practice to recruit, lure, and entice children and women, knowing, or in reckless disregard of the fact, that means of force, fraud, and coercion, or that the child had not yet attained the age of 18 years, to cause the victims to engage in a commercial sex act. Methods employed by NIGARD to commit sex trafficking include, but are not limited to, the use of physical force, threatening physical force, drugging victims, promising lucrative modeling opportunities, providing money, confiscating his victims' passports, and preventing exit from the NIGARD key property. NIGARD has targeted, and instructed his employees and associates to target, children. NIGARD primarily preys on young, vulnerable, and impoverished Bahamian girls because he knows that they will not report his crimes to law enforcement, particularly in a climate where it is well known that NIGARD bribes government and police officials. Among other deviant acts, NIGARD often sodomizes his victims and asks them to defecate on him, including in his mouth. He also requests that his victims urinate on him and demands that victims on their menstrual periods provide him their menstrual blood for eating. Due to the extreme deviant nature of Nygaard's sexual conduct, his victims feel even more degraded, ashamed, and embarrassed than the typical sexual assault victim.
With lie after lie on social media, especially concerning Peter Nygaard. Let's talk about Peter Nygaard for a moment. He was a long-time resident of the Bahamas, who now stands accused of the most horrific crimes against women. I want to be clear, as a father of daughters, as a Bahamian, I am appalled by these extremely serious charges. Peter Nygaard contributed to both political parties, to many charitable causes here, and to regattas across the country. Those contributions do not in any way excuse his behavior, but nor are the many recipients of his contributions responsible for his behavior. In no time during my tenure as Deputy Prime Minister was there ever a criminal complaint made to the Bahamian police about the matters he is now charged with. Had there been, an investigation would have been launched immediately.
Nygaard was also close with Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis and regularly met with him and paid bribes to him and his political aides. Davis allegedly introduced Nygaard to known Bahamian gangsters and convicted criminals, Livingston Toogie Bullard and Whistler Bobo de Vilma. Nygaard paid Toogie and Bobo with funds from the Nygaard companies to intimidate anyone who spoke out against him or his initiatives by, among other means, directing them to firebomb his detractors' vehicles and/or businesses, instructing them to threaten to kill those who oppose him, and commit other acts of violence and intimidation. Nygaard used his political connections and bribes to successfully gain building permits and to receive other favorable treatment, including, without limitation, overlooking his illegal activities. Nygaard had Bahamian police officers on his payroll. He used them to help bury any reports of sexual abuse and intimidate, threaten to arrest, and otherwise harass his victims to ensure that they would not come forward. Nygaard often alludes to the fact, in front of his girlfriends, that he is powerful enough in the Bahamas to have people killed without being investigated. Indeed, when Nygaard learned of the investigation of his illegal sex trafficking, he engaged lawyers to facilitate bribery payments to top Bahamian police officials to get more information that would enable him to attempt to bribe victims or intimidate them into silence. Nygaard also regularly bribes Bahamian officials with U.S. currency from the Nygaard companies to prevent customs from searching his plane, prevent customs from checking the passports of the young women on board, and to prevent customs from inspecting the passengers' luggage. This allows Nygaard to traffic his victims to and from the Bahamas, transport drugs intended for his victims, and transport other supplies for pamper parties in the Nygaard company's plane to avoid paying customs. Nygaard does the same with the Nygaard company's boats and regularly transports supplies and victims for his pamper parties from Florida to the Bahamas. Nygaard's victims have been previously unable to come forward to report his illegal activity and pursue their claims against him for several reasons, including, without limitation, cultural stigmatization, shame, weak laws that are rarely enforced, low clearance rates for sexual assault investigations, corrupt law enforcement and government officials, fear of Nygaard's wealth, power, and influence in the Bahamas, and psychological manipulation and intimidation tactics used by Nygaard, including the commonly held belief that Nygaard has bribed government officials and the police. Side note, also keep in mind that in the document there is photo evidence and money transactions between Nygaard and other ministers like our former Prime Minister Perry Christie and former Cabinet Minister of Immigration, Shane Gibson.
And now, the end is near, and so I face the final curtain.
As I currently edit this video, it has been revealed that Nygaard has been denied bail and will be detained in Toronto as he awaits trial on charges of sexual assault and forcible confinement. I know this video is a bit darker than my regular content. I'm not a journalist or any of that fancy stuff, but I just wanted to put this information out into the universe because I came across it, and sexual assault is and has always been rampant in the Bahamas, in both wealthy circles and underclass circles. Most of the testimonies of the victims often get swept under the rug because our government doesn't really care about anything. Especially if the crime is being committed by one of their rich high-profile white foreign cronies. So yeah, that's about it. This video won't change anything, but it's good to bring awareness to these kind of social issues. Another thing I want everyone to notice is that international investigators had to look into this situation to detain Nygaard. Neither local law enforcers nor local politicians was protecting their people from this degenerate individual. So, Bahamian people understand that the black bourgeois isn't your ally. You have no allies. In conclusion, let me remind the Bahamian people that the judges, custom officers, politicians, law enforcers and many other corrupted officials are still out there. The gangsters that protected this pedophile is still out there. Those who were bribed by him is still out there. The victims of his heinous sexual acts is still out there. What does this mean for our nation? This means that the corruption and bribery still persists till this very day. The fact that many of you
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. And it is your Sunday, and I want to thank you for spending your Sunday evenings with us so that we can educate the Bahamian people about what is really going on in this country. And we have committed to continuously doing this every Sunday to make sure that we can educate you and inform you about what's going on, whether it's in the news, what's going on politically in our country, and reveal certain things to you that is being hidden from you. And so this, to some, is a mammoth task, but this is a task that we've committed to take on. And we've been doing this now for several years. For 3 years straight, we've been going live every week, revealing new information to the Bahamian people that they've never heard before, and we've not given up. And I want to thank all of you who've been supportive and helping us to get this done. And so we're going to have an interesting conversation today. We got to talk about a couple of things, and of course, we'll open the phone lines. We have to talk about the Privy Council decision because a lot of people are calling me about that. They don't understand what is happening. What does it mean? We got to talk about that today. So make sure you tag your friends, share this message. Make sure you share this message so that you know exactly what is going on. Share this, tag them right here on the chat, and make sure they know what's going on. We are broadcasting live around the world on many different platforms right now, and that includes Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and many other platforms right now as we speak. All right. And so for the thousands and thousands of Bahamians who are watching this right now, we thank you for tuning in. A new Bahamas is upon us, and a new Bahamas is definitely here. First of all, I would like to again give my sympathies to the family of a great young man. A young man who was a strong supporter, a young man who encouraged me, a young man who kept us going. He's Mr. Leron Lightburn. He was laid to rest yesterday. Of course, I was out of the country because of a very serious situation I had to deal with. Otherwise, I would have been there with his family to see him off. But he was a strong supporter. He was a strong evangelist of this movement, a strong COI member. He converted his family at work. They stopped calling him by his nickname, which was Geo, and they started calling him by his new nickname, 100 grand or 100,000, because of the COI. And we just want to thank him, even though he cannot hear us at this time, for his commitment to the New Bahamas. And we want to assure you that what you fought for would live on. Your efforts will not be in vain. That the New Bahamas, we will see the New Bahamas. We will see the New Bahamas, and we thank you for all of your contributions and everything that you did in order to get us to the New Bahamas. And so my deepest sympathies and condolences to the family. We just want you to know that we are here with you. We are here with you in spirit, and we are here for you. And we have to do this. We have to do this for our young man, nicknamed 100 Rand. Thank you. God bless you, and we love you. And just before we get started, we just have a couple announcements before I get started with all of this good stuff we got to talk about today, because I'm gonna actually show you that judgment, and we got to go through that. What does this mean? Bahamas in trouble. Y'all better get ready. If you ain't ready yet, you better get ready. All right. And so I just want to announce there's going to be a walkabout in Elizabeth this weekend. There's going to be a walkabout in Elizabeth this weekend, so we want you to join us in Elizabeth Estates this weekend. Saturday, May 2nd, we're going to meet at the St. Andrews Beach. We're going to meet at St. Andrews Beach Park. So we want to make sure that all of you are there. So make sure you're there at St. Andrews Beach Park, and that's this evening. We are walking every neighborhood in the Bahamas, and we're going to make sure that we touch on every door and knock on every door. That is why we started the work from now. Also, the Hidden Gems Tea Party and Brunch, that's the Women's Association of the COI. They are on the move. They're getting it done. That's going to be on May 28th. So tickets are available. So make sure you go and get your tickets. Yes, you can go to our Facebook page, Coalition of Independence, for more information. You can call the number that's posted there. The number is, you make sure that you can properly see that number down there at the bottom. The number is 456-9772. 456-9772. That is the phone number that you can call if you want some more information. It'll also be posted to my Facebook page if you need to see this later. You'll get one of the President of the Women's Association to post this to the Facebook page. Also, there is a new king in town, and so we're going to talk about that stuff also. I think we're gonna start with that discussion, and then we're gonna move on to talking about this decision. This is a serious one. A lot of you don't understand the Constitution, and the court basically said something I've been saying for a very long time. So we're gonna get to that and make sure you get your family and friends to get on here. All right. And so we also have to talk about the fact that the uniform branch, the security branch of the Bahamas, the entire security branch has been basically been given a kick again, that benefits are going to be lost for persons coming in. Benefits are going to be lost. And so they're taking away benefits daily from Bahamians. We're seeing information where Bahamians are not being paid on time. Civil servants are not being paid on time. We have persons in Grand Bahama who work in the schools who have not been paid at all. Yeah, that's my baby girl in the corner right there. You can see it through the reflection. She hiding. Yeah, you know, baby, no more. You just a big baby. All right, 5'3" and 12 years old. You better learn to play basketball. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah. So a lot of the civil servants are being kicked to the curb. We can't get what we're supposed to get on time. We can't get services on time. But hey, what's happening in the Bahamas? What's happening? While you can't get what you're supposed to get on time, you're not getting paid on time, you're not getting things that you're supposed to get when you're supposed to get it. Well, I just want to let you know that you can't expect to get paid on time. You can't expect to get your benefits when you're supposed to get your benefits. You can't expect to get these things and also have champagne and bubble they can't call you. Africa, yeah, come up like a solo solo. Yeah, come wine panic colo colo. Yeah, come wine panic colo colo. Stone ginger wine they can't call you. I can't even keep watching that. I can't keep watching that because that's what's really happening. They are partying. They are partying. They are balling. They are spending this money over the budget. I mean, they are showing you the dresses and suits they are wearing that you paid for. One of the stooges of Brave Davis now is Michael Pintard. I don't know how Fred Smith is going to deal with that because Fred Smith, don't really like the PLP, but it seems like Michael Pintard is now a stooge of the PLP. He says he had to go because of whatever. He did not have to go. He could have rejected it. I've heard him say before that he does not support the situation with the Queen. But of course, when they get in these positions, they become stooges. They sell out. Hubert Ingram was offered to be knighted, to be sir, whatever. He decided he did not want to take that. I think also Perry Christie decided the same thing. That they didn't want to take that. They didn't want an honor from the Queen. All right. And so you don't have to do anything. We are essentially independent, even though on paper we do something different. And so, I heard people talking about who is the better dress, who spent our money better on their dress. All right. And, our country is going to hell. Bay Street is horrible. Our hospital services are horrible. I mean, the facilities. Nothing works. You're calling the police station and they ain't got no cars. You're calling for ambulance and they don't have an ambulance. And these people are bragging about how good they look with our money that they're spending. And how good they could spend our money. 40 persons were taken on this trip. 40 persons, including, I was going to show you a video with Clint Watson and with Latre and whoever these people are, just balling on the Bahamas budget and just throwing it in our faces. I really don't want to show that video. I really don't want to see these people and what they are doing. But we are in trouble, y'all. We're in trouble. Even Laura got to go on the trip. That's Laura. Remember that's Lady Laura who slapped Brent Simonet, who is the PLP who sells the fruits on the corner. Laura got to go. And so the PLP is basically balling while the country is going to nothing. And we are allowing this as a people. And this continues. One party will complain about the next, and then they will do the same thing or worse. And then they complain and do the same thing or worse because they know you didn't have a choice. But it looks like the FNM complained about the traveling of the PLP, and then they joined them in traveling. Well, I guess Pintard is saying if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. Why wait? Because I think Pintard realizes that there's slim chance that he's going to win. I mean, Bahamians have to have zero morals and zero care for this country. I mean, really hate this country to want the FNM to come back in power. Bahamians should be ashamed to even wear an FNM shirt right now. That has to be one of the most evil things that you could do to this country after what the FNM has done, not just historically, but recently to this country. And we have not forgotten Pintard and all of those who are in Parliament with him. They were part of the rape and robbery of this country over the last, over those 4.5 years or 4 years. And so I won't blame Pintard and the FNM for whatever they do to the country if for some reason Bahamians are foolish enough to put them back in. I won't blame them. I won't blame them. Because we have done this back and forth so much that it's becoming idiotic now. It is beyond stupidity. And so to see anyone wearing a red FNM shirt, they must have lost their mind. We must soon will be able to see that person walking the street and begging on lights with mental issues, because it cannot be the case that any Bahamian would want to see the FNM back again. And so I think Pintard realizes that. And so he decided, well, I'm going to travel now. I'm going to travel now, and I'm going to enjoy myself now. So it looks like that's what they want to do. I don't even want to show you any more pictures of these people balling on your money. But all I know is that we need change. We need to do something different. All right, we need to do something different, and that's what we're gonna do. We got to talk about some stuff today. They're over there partying and they are balling, they're dancing on your money. You know, you might like that though. That might be okay for you. All right. So when the government is saying that we broke, you know, we got to find the money for the airport in Cat Island. We got to find the money for the airport in Grand Bahama. We got to find the money to build the hospital. Now, remember that money that allocated a long time from ministers in, but they ain't built it yet. I wonder why. We got to find the money for the hospital in Grand Bahama. They got $1 billion thing that they could borrow now and draw down on. Y'all, Brave, y'all seriously can't take, instead of borrowing $1 billion to pay off debt and to even to build a excuse me, an airport in Exuma or whatever else you say y'all gonna do with these changing numbers. 1 minute it was going to be 200 million, then it was 400 million, then he misspoke again. Look, like every time he speaks, he misspoke. So I don't know why he keeps spoken. He needs to stop spoken because he putting spokes in our wheels. 1 minute the prison was going to cost 50 million. Now it's going to cost $90 million for prison. We ain't got a hospital. You're all talking about building a $90 million prison. They may like this though. They may like this. But in any event, they don't have money for anything. But they could ball and party. And we like that. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to stand up. We got to fight. I don't even want to talk more about that. I didn't spend much time watching the coronation, and I won't. I really don't have time for that. I think it's time for us to move on as a country. To move on, become a republic, and do this thing with sense. Because if you want me to come to your coronation, you can pay for me. Because when you won't come to the Bahamas, you're telling me to pay for you. Tell me how that makes sense. You so powerful, you so rich and powerful, you got a gold carriage, but you want me come, but I gotta pay? Me? You can pay. And if you come into my country, you will pay. All right? Unless I invite you to something, then I should pay. All right? And while all of this is going on, all this money is spending, and, you know, Clint watching them smiling ear to ear, you getting more taxes. Open your eyes. All right? And so it's time for change, but we all got to come together and make this happen. So what are we doing? It's time to rally, y'all. It's time to show them that we've had enough and that we're serious. It's time to rally. And so on June 2nd, we are going back to the University of Wolf Road. All right? We are going to Windsor Park. And this is the park where Sir Lyndon Pillin and Milo Butler and all these great men would rally the Bahamian people and bring them there and educate them on a regular basis and tell them what is going on and teach them about certain things. They call it the University of Wolf Road. Well, that's where we're going. And some elderly persons ask us, man, you got to go to the University of Wolf Road. Stop going downtown. Let's go down there and see what's going on. Well, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to the University of Wolf Road, Windsor Park. We're going to Windsor Park. All right? I think the rally is starting at 6 o'clock. We're going to start at 6 o'clock. The rally is going to start because we want to do it closer to the evening when there's not too much sun out. So we're going to start at 6 o'clock. We're looking forward to all of you being there. Don't come alone. Bring your family and friends. What is the purpose of this? The purpose of this is, one, to let them see that the Bahamian people are a strong force and we are tired. We've had enough. That we are ready. We're going to be off. There's no work the next day. And so we want to make sure that all of you come out and you are present and you are there. And so come out to this rally. What's going to happen at this rally? It is the beginning of the war to take our country back. And at least make sure that the government knows that they can't push Bahamians over anymore because we're tired. And so if you think that the Bahamas is operating good, then you don't have to come unless you just want to come for entertainment. But if you like the way the country is going, man, stay home. Stay home. Let's keep paying more taxes because they keep putting more taxes on everything that we do. Keep paying more taxes while the politicians get rich because they getting rich right now. All right. That the man said went from 200 million to 400 million. He did not misspeak. This is the kind of stuff they doing. 50 million to 90 million. He did not misspeak. They're going to rape and rob every way they can. That's what they're doing. That $67 million for consultants, that means that they could just give money to anyone and call it a consultant. They don't have to go through the procurement process. They could just take that money and give that out to whoever they want and just call that person a consultant and give him millions of dollars. That's what that is for. So there's no accountability. Your money is just being washed away. And you might like that. That might be what you like. And if you like that, and let's keep doing what we've been doing. So June 2nd, we're going to be at Windsor Park with Pinland and those called University of Wolf Road. That's where we're going to be. And so we're going to be there. The stage is going to be set up, and we're going to do what we have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, join us. What are you going to see? You're going to hear about what's going on in this country. But you are going to be introduced to the first set of our shadow ministers. Yeah, we're not playing. We're getting this done. We don't have time to talk. We don't have time to waste. We got to get this started. We are building an army that is ready to take this country back. And so you're going to begin to see the shadow ministers who are going to be addressing the government on different issues. Yes, you've seen me, you've seen Ms. Green, you've seen Maria dealing with certain issues out there while we protected others. But now it's time for you to see that, wow, these guys are coming. And every few months, you're seeing more and more qualified people who are ready to go. What is the vision for education? What is the vision for crime in this country? What do we have planned for our uniform branch? Are they going to continue to be treated like nothing? What is the vision for tourism in this country? What is the vision for finance in this country? What is the vision for immigration in this country? Who are going to be the people driving this? What is the vision for health in this country? Come out on June 2nd. This is not going to be with those people. They have their rallies and they spend their whole time just talking bad about the other parties, and they really have nothing to offer you and no vision. We're starting to give the vision from now, and hopefully they can steal some of our vision before election, and then you can get some relief early. All right. The purpose of this is for the main people to benefit. The only things they can talk about is things they hear us talking about. And so we have no problem with that. It shows you that we have the real vision and plan for this country. And so we're looking forward to all of you. The flyer is going to be out in short order in the video. June 2nd, be there. June 2nd, talk to your friends and family. That is Labor Day. It's a holiday. Make sure you are there. All right? Make sure you are there. And so we're going to be releasing initial shadow ministers, and periodically we're going to release more and more of these shadow ministers who are ready to transform this country. What you're going to see is extremely qualified persons who have not necessarily ever been interested in politics. You're going to see an army of Bahamians who have said, listen, enough is enough. This is me. I'm more than qualified. I don't need to be doing this, but I can't let my country go. That's what it's time to see. That's what it's time for all of us to do, to sit down and say, I can't just sit and say, let's hope the politicians do us right. No, we got to go and take the chair from them. We got to kick them out of the chair. And we got to take this country into the next Bahamas, which is the new Bahamas. And so we're looking forward to all of that. Make sure you are there. Start talking to your friends and family now. There's no promotion like word of mouth. Start talking to your friends and family now. And make sure that you are there June 2nd. We're going to start the rally at 6 p.m. It's a holiday. You have nothing else to do. If you're going to the beach early or whatever. And there's some people who are saying, they're having Labor Day on that day. Yeah, well, they had events on Labor Day before. And if you want to go to Labor Day earlier that day, then you go and you do that. But that evening, 6 o'clock, make sure you are there for what is really important, taking this country over. Listen, I am not interested in being Labor anymore. I love Labor Day, and I appreciate what Labor Day is, and I appreciate what our forefathers fought for, and that's so we could get some jobs, and that they could treat us right on them jobs. But what our generation's fight is for is so that we can be owners. We need an owner day, not a Labor Day. We need to be the owners of this country. We need to be empowered in this country, and that is all our mission is about. So make sure that you are there on June 2nd as we begin the march to freedom in this country, the march to the new Bahamas. Make sure that you are there. All right? So June 2nd, it's time. It's time to stop talking. Show them your bodies. People are saying, oh, Lincoln, we need to go on Bay Street and take over there. Come out on June 2nd. Whatever the government could see on Bay Street, they could see out there. When they know that you are a force to reckon with, they're going to have to treat you differently. Trust me, get out of your house. Put your bodies there. Sit in your chair, sit in your car. If you don't want them to see you, put on your mask if you don't want them to see you. But make sure you are there. June 2nd. Bring the numbers and stop the nonsense. Now, if you ain't ready to stop the nonsense, then it will continue. It's time to stand up. So let's see what is what. All right. So that's what's going to happen on that day. So thank you to all of you who are going to come out there. If you want to contribute to this in any way, just get in contact with our office. You know the number, 804-4264. If you want to contribute in any way, or you can call me 803-5995. But our office number is 804-4264. If you want to contribute in any way to our rally or whatever events that we're having, contribute to the movement, please do so. All right. Thank you so much. Or go to our website. You can contribute right there on the website using your card. All right. It's very safe. You've never had anyone been hit. I'm a computer scientist. You don't have to worry about nothing. All right. So that's where we are. All right. So thank you all so much. All right. So before I get to the court decision, I think I better talk about a couple of things first, and then I'll deal with that last, that court decision, because that one's serious. Let me just get these other stuff out of the way. All right. I'll touch on the police. The benefits of the security branches being taken away. This is another sick and demented action of our government that doesn't care about our people. These are the same officers, that they will get to go there and do their dirty work and do their bidding. These are the same officers that they would get to go out there and say, just go lock up Lincoln there. But they ain't do nothing wrong. They ain't nothing. Just lock them up, man. Just lock them up. Just do what I say. I give you promotion. You straight. The same officers that they would get to do their bidding. Now look how they are treating you. Look what is going on. Look what's going on. These are the foot soldiers. I remember my dad worked at Pinland's house as a police officer, and he would say that, listen, they wouldn't give you a glass of water. They wouldn't give you a glass of water. And you were working there. You weren't allowed to carry your own. Back then, you couldn't carry your own bag with food in it. That was considered disgraceful for a police officer. You couldn't be seen to be carrying food and stuff like that. I mean, it sounds strange now, but even when I joined the force, they used to talk about that. You weren't allowed to carry your own food. You couldn't carry no greasy bag or nothing. You had to just be distinguished and et cetera, et cetera. It was crazy. But you wasn't allowed to ask for anything. If a fruit drop off that tree, you couldn't touch that. Let that man go rot. You couldn't touch that. And it's like we always are treated badly by those in power. And then we keep worshiping them. This movement is not about the empowerment of a man or a people. They call us a cult movement because they just can't believe that anyone would follow a new idea in this country, that they thought the PLP and FNM had everything so wrapped up. that no one would be able to think for themselves, and so they call us a cult movement. They never thought that anyone would be able to do that. But what this is a movement of independent thinkers, people who can think for themselves, because the slavery starts in here. All slavery happens in here. The reason black people were enslaved in the first place was because the native Indians, I know that ain't even what they are, right? It's just a name put on them. But the native, the Taino Indians, the Arawaks, the Caribs, and then the American Indians, they wouldn't allow themselves to be enslaved. They would keep running away. They would keep fighting and they would keep running away. You couldn't stop them. No matter how much you tried to enslave them, they would keep fighting and they would keep running away. You couldn't enslave them. And so they said, you know what? We've been dealing with these Negroes out here, and we know they said when you enslave them, they stay right there. Let's take them. Because they made them slaves in Africa and they don't even try to escape and go nowhere. Yeah, you put them, that's where they are. And they brought the Africans and changed the game because it was impossible to go back home. So where would you run? And they enslaved us because we don't keep fighting. But my name is Lincoln Bain. I'm a runaway slave. And I will fight until the day I die. And I will free as many of the slaves, former slaves, who are willing to be freed from the gross oppression, not of massa, but of our own people. Massa didn't treat us as bad as these said treating us. We expected more. And so since they didn't give us more, we could take more. We expected to be given our crown land. Because guess what? The Queen was giving out crown land. It's giving out whole keys as Bahamians with thousands of acres of land granted to them. And you know what the black leaders did? Your black politicians started taking it from them. Just taking it. Because they know they ain't got money to sue. It's happening all over this country. And we can't even get a piece of crown land. UBP was giving us crown land. The UBP. The Queen. We can't get a piece of crown land other than if you was a political crony. So they can say, see, we gave crown land. Look at these people get their crown land. No, that's your political cronies. Any Bahamian should be able to apply for crown land without going to the prime minister, going through the proper process, showing the use for this crown land and getting it through a proper board without any interference. But we're being treated worse now than ever before. So to my police officers, and to the defense force officers, and to the prison officers and all of the security branches of this country, I just want you to know that I feel you. I was one of you. I spent 10 years on the police force. 10 years. Officially, just over 5 years. And then I went and studied leave. Went into business. Business was good, and I didn't come back. But I spent 10 years as a police officer while I was on study leave out working in the summers. 10 years. Maria Daxon spent years in the police force. I think she actually got a pension. She reached pension years. I don't remember. But she was there. She fights for the police. She fought for them to get their overtime. She's fighting for them to get their gratuity. All right? I've never got my gratuity. So you know we're going to fight for you. This is a done deal. We're going to make sure that what you're supposed to get, what you're entitled to, you're going to get. You shouldn't have to be beggars. All right? But while, you are suffering and being treated like nothing, all right, nothing, Wayne Monroe is benefiting from being in government. His son, who's in the defense force, was sent to London on January 9th. All right? Sent to London. Oh, wow. His daughter Wayne Monroe's daughter is the Vice Consul General, the Bahamian Embassy in Washington. All right, from last November. Wow. His younger son works for tourism at the plantation office. Interesting. I'm not saying that anything is wrong with any of that, but How is it that only these people and their family benefit when they're in power? And then they find every way for us to not benefit. You got to work 40 years to get a pension while the politician works 8 years or 2 terms to get a pension. That's what you got to do. But maybe you're like that. Maybe you're like this. And so if you like it, then you know what to do. Listen, you just vote for the PLP or FNM. You just vote for them because you may like it. That may sound good to you. Just make sure that they straight, but Bahamians are not. And so the Staff Association responded to this. So I don't think they like it. But here's what the Staff Association had to say. I'm gonna read all this. So I think you deserve to know. The government of the Bahamas has made a decision that will unilaterally affect the future of every officer whose agency falls under the security branches. Many of us are not concerned because we are not affected by these changes, but this is cause to be alarmed. We have been lobbying for dental and vision to be added to our insurance plan for years, and the requests have fallen on deaf ears thus far. One can only wonder what else is in the pipeline to be taken away. It simply shows that the increase to recruit starting salary from 18,000 to 20,000 was given, but not without consequence. It would cost over 700 monthly per dependent if one officer decides to carry on with the coverage. Wow. So if you got 3 children, that's $2,100 a month. Wow. Apart from individuals having an opportunity to serve their country, our insurance has been a staple for decades and is one other reason, if not the primary reason, that attracts young men and women to these various agencies. There is no justifiable that we can accept that no regard or consultation with various unions or associations. We refuse to accept the government. We refuse to accept the government can no longer afford it. While this is a huge and proud moment for our country, millions of dollars is being spent on our country's 50th anniversary, while the very same agencies who are now being slapped in the face are expected to perform in these festivities. Wow. We cannot allow this coverage to be downgraded and remain silent. If we do not act, the next step may be we who are not affected by the change may no longer be allowed to add dependents. We do not know, and we are not prepared to leave it up to chance. The Correctional Officers Staff Association has made contact with other major security branch agencies and expect to reach out to all by early next week. Thus far, we both share the same position, and the consensus is exactly the same. These actions are nothing less than disrespectful. We must move swiftly and make it known that we will not tolerate and do not agree with the act of blatant disrespect. We will stand up against this decision, whether it be collectively or independently. This is not a fight the association alone can win. As we work on our strategy to address this issue, stand by for the next update. That's from Corporal Harvey Culmer, who is the current president of the Police Staff Association. Corporal Culmer, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. And so you know what to expect. All right. In the New Bahamas, every single Bahamian will be covered. Be there on June 2nd when you're going to hear our plans for help. All right. From our Shadow Minister of Health. Every Bahamian will be covered. There will be no more need for cookouts. The money is there. They spend the money on what they want to spend it on. Here are the plans. All right? And so, to all of our security branches, this is going to continue. They're going to find every way to pluck benefits from Bahamians so they could party and so that they could do what they want. Millions has been spent on this 50th anniversary thing when we really don't see what we should be celebrating. All right. So if you are a part of any of these branches, you have our deepest sympathies, but it's time. Make sure you are there if you're part of these branches on June 2nd. Be there. Wear a mask if you want to. Wear a whole ski mask if you want to. But come out and show them that we're going to stand. You see, once you come out in numbers and stand with us, moving forward when we talk, everyone talks. You see the difference? When we went out in numbers to the Prime Minister's office and say, listen, you are going to stop giving work permits to anyone from Haiti until we can see what's going on because of all these false documents and all the stuff that's going on. We went out there in numbers, see what they had to do. When we went out there in numbers and made other demands to them, look at what had to happen. You understand? And so when you come out on June 2nd, it is going to signal to the government that this is us. And we fed up. And we tired. And you will do what we say you will do. Or we'll be back. You're going to say that this right here represents us, how we're feeling. And they're going to speak for us. That's what that says. And so when you come out to Windsor Park on June 2nd, you are saying to the government, I am willing to stand with my fellow Bahamians. And what they say to you, they talking for me. They talking for us. That's how you get power. That's power to the people. You know that I will not be afraid to speak on your behalf. You know that I will not be afraid to speak truth to power. They know that if you come out, that's why they've been trying to block other things that we were doing in the past. They know that if you come out and you say, this is us, they're in trouble. They can't get away with skullduggery anymore. But if you leave it the way it is, they're going to keep doing these things with no consultation and keep doing things like taking away your sovereign wealth fund, these tricks with letting our country being taken over. We can talk about some more of that in a minute, but it's up to you. All right, as simple as that. All right, so we wanted to get that out there to you, to get that out of the way quickly before we move on. All right, but the Privy Council, I'll touch on this before I open the phone lines for you. The Privy Council has dismisses absurd arguments made on the Attorney General's behalf. All right, that's the headlines. Candia Dames wrote that. The Privy Council dismisses the absurd arguments from the AG. Y'all don't think that they intentionally put up absurd arguments in order to lose? If this is what they wanted, they couldn't go to referendum on it because the people already tell them we ain't on your run. They couldn't go to just table it in Parliament. All right, because people already tell them, well, listen, we done talk in a referendum. We ain't on your run on this. So don't you think the next best move was to put it in court and make sure they lose in court? Tell me if I'm alone on this. Tell me if what I'm saying to you don't make sense. You'll wake up. I tell me this. Their arguments was absurd. Now, these are learned attorneys. Their arguments were absurd. Doesn't it sound like that's the ruling they want? But they wanted to be able to get the court to say that, so that the court could be to blame. And they could say, oh, well, we have to follow the ruling of the court. Bahamas, we in trouble. Let me help you understand law under the British system. Our system of law isn't necessarily about right or wrong, or who's right or who is wrong, or who is guilty and who is innocent. That's the verdicts. But it is about who brings the best argument. That is how our law works. Whoever brings the best argument wins. If you don't bring the best argument to the table, you could be innocent and you could be in the right. You're going to lose. If you bring the best argument to the table and you are wrong, and you are actually liable and you are guilty, but you bring the best argument to the table, you are going to win. That is the absurdity of our law. It's about who brings the best argument. Remember, every time you go to court, there's two learned attorneys with differing views. That's why I laugh at people when they, talk about, what the law says, what it doesn't say. No, there's two lawyers with different views who disagree. And they're both presenting an argument on it. And the one with the best argument is who is going to win. In Europe, they have a Inquisition type law where it looks for the facts. It's like when we have coroner's inquest, it is about looking for the facts. Is when we have a commission of inquiry, they look for the facts, just what happened. But they don't give power to that. They don't give power to looking for the facts. They look at the best argument, because that way you can get any decision you want. This is how the law works in our system. And so many innocent people have gone to jail. Many guilty people have been released. The reason we have bail right now, and the Prime Minister of, I think it was Grenada, he said something about our judges being from Mars. Our problem is corruption at all levels. There was a case where a prominent person from a prominent white family, from the Moscow family, someone was charged with killing someone else. And in order to give that person bail, they went to court and they gave an argument for bail. And because that, and they did not give bail for murder before that. They don't do it in other countries. And since they did that, that now set a precedent that everyone that came after that one case of corruption changed the game. Because that was a powerful person, and they wanted to give their son bail. After that, you can't tell someone else no. And so their lawyers came and made the best argument. So the other side came and made a bad argument and lost. Not because of right or wrong, because of the argument. Because of the argument. It's who brings the best argument. So just like in a sports game, one team could throw the game and let the other team win. It's who brings the best argument. All right. So I hope you all understand that. But in any event, this is where we are. A decision was made. All right. And we got to stick with that decision. We're stuck with that decision. And that's it. There's nothing we can do now, because that's the Privy Council. That's the highest court in the land. And the only way out of this is there's a way out of this. And that is to start a new Bahamas. Understand? So with the new Bahamas, everything is new. The rules are new. Everything is new. You can have new laws. You can have a new constitution that would have to be defined again. Get it? I hope you understand. And so the only way out of all this stuff that we're trapped in is we need a new Bahamas. We gotta have a do-over. All right, that's the only way out of some of this stuff that we're stuck in. We need a new non-corrupt Bahamas. Once we have a new Bahamas, we someone says there is a way to undo. That's what the person is saying. All right, and there is a way to undo, and we need a new Bahamas. All right, new constitution, new rules that are more clear. In this judgment, they said, listen, your constitution wasn't clear. So we can decide what we want to decide. All right. And actually, I'll be honest with you, what they said, and this is the judgment. All right. This is the judgment. And what they said, the Constitution said, it actually says. All right. It actually says. And so they went through all of the citizenship acts. This is it here. This is the judgment. They went through all of this. They talk about Article 6. All right. Article 6, which is what they're really adjudicating on. And many Bahamians never read this. Now, you will notice something. When people ask me what is an organic Bahamian, I would always touch on this. I didn't go into details on what I was saying and why I was saying it. But I was telling you what the Constitution says. It says, every person born in the Bahamas after the 9th of July, 1973, shall become a citizen of the Bahamas at the date of their birth. If at that date, either of his parents is a citizen of the Bahamas. You see this? This is the Constitution. And so the Privy Council is saying, listen, the reason you're saying it shouldn't include a single man who isn't married, the child of a single man who isn't married, is because of some other provision in 14.1 that actually don't say that. It was talking about when it's referring to fathers, it should be construed as referring to mothers if the person is not married. All right, I'll read that for you so you can understand it more clearly. All right, and so they're saying that this don't refer to fathers. This is referring to every person, and it's talking about his parents. So they're saying you can't put that definition on here. Here's what they're saying. I'll read it again for you. Every person born in the Bahamas, that's every person born in the Bahamas after July 9, 1973, that means from July 10 onwards, shall become a citizen of the Bahamas at the date of his birth, if at that date either of his parents, I mean mother or father, is a citizen of the Bahamas. That was always there. This the big loophole. And remember when they asked me about it, I will always repeat this, but I wouldn't say what I'm repeating. I would say when they asked me what's an organic Bahamian, I said that's organic Bahamian is a person born inside the Bahamas or outside whose parent, either of whose parent is a Bahamian. This has always been there. But no one ever challenged it. All right? And then they differentiated by showing that Article 7 talks about something different. That talks about if none of your parents are Bahamian. And then they go on and on and on. It's a 23-page, I think. Yeah, 23-page document. And then they go on to 14, where it says, in 14 it says, any reference in this chapter to the father of a person shall, in relation to any person born out of wedlock, other than a person legitimated before July 10, 1973, be construed as a reference to the mother of that person. So if it mentions father, If you ain't married, the mother will be the father in that case, is what they say. All right. And so they're saying that this doesn't say anything about the person who one of their parents is Bahamian, that it don't count if it's the mother and they out of wedlock, or if it's the father and they're out of wedlock. And so the court is saying, no. This ain't talking about that. I'm talking about something different. And so this is what they are now saying. So the pairs like Finland and these guys, they put this in place, number 6, and then they screwed it up by not clearly defining it and leaving it open. That's what you do when you want to leave a loophole open for later, so that you can later make your decision. And here we are. Loss and address. So that's the definition now. And so now, if either of your parents are Bahamian, you become Bahamian at birth if you're born inside the Bahamas, is what that was talking about. And there's more. I just want to go into all details. So what I'm going to do now is open the phone line so we could talk, and you could participate in this. And if you want more clarification, I can do that. 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995. 803-5995 is the number. Make sure this isn't on silent. All right, 803-5999. Call in. How do you feel about this decision that was made? I think it's even more urgent now, more than ever before. We need a new Bahamas. That old Bahamas is broken. We got to throw that whole thing in the garbage, because we have a bunch of laws that don't even make no sense. And they wouldn't even change it. 803-5995. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon. Good evening, Mr. Bean. How are you?
I am awesome.
That's good. I still need clarity on the ruling. About the ruling for Wayne Monroe and passing on your citizenship as a Bahamian man to your children. I still don't get it.
So what you don't get about it? So let me
I don't understand.
Number 6.
Let me explain again.
Number 6, Article 6 actually says that anyone born since the Bahamas has been independent, anyone born in the Bahamas since the Bahamas has become independent, if either of your parents are Bahamian, you are Bahamian at birth, which means you're not a paper Bahamian. So they mean you're an organic, a biological Bahamian. And they actually mention that in the judgment. They talk about being a biological Bahamian, because anyone else is not.
All right. So I understand that.
To them, they're saying you're an organic Bahamian.
Okay, and that's what we call organic or Bahamian also, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I don't understand is this ruling that came down on the 3rd also, about giving your birth. Given as a father only now, or is it a father and mother now can pass on their citizenship to their children?
Either a Bahamian woman or a Bahamian man can now pass on their citizenship. It doesn't matter if you're married or not married, or any of those other qualifications they put in there. It doesn't matter anymore.
So what did we have before?
Before, if you were unmarried, a male who was unmarried could not pass on his citizenship. They will get the citizenship of the mother. The reason that was the case is because they were saying that you don't really know if the male is the father. All right, they could swing you, but you know the mother is the mother, because there's witness of that this child came from that mother. And when they're born, they'll say the child of so and so on their wristband. But with the man, anyone can come and say, oh, this man is the daddy of this child. You see? And so that's a problem. So at any point, they do affidavits, whatever, and saying, listen, this is the daddy. Now, the problem comes in if they don't have a provision for DNA tests you're in trouble, because Bahamian men can sell citizenship like nothing. That's a new business they just started. Because all you got to do is say, yeah, man. All you got to say is, yeah, man, we had sex 12 years ago, and that child, that's my child right there.
So for this new ruling now, do you think we have a DNA department that can legitimize the said child, whoever, even if the child is 20, even if the child is 12, or whatever age the child is? Do you think we have...
Mom, let me help you with something. This is a whole criminal enterprise. And this just created a new industry in this country. All right? If we don't have the safeguards. I don't have a problem with me personally, a male or female Bahamian being able to pass on their citizenship. But in the case of a male, you have to have some things in place. And that's, see, when the forefathers did this act, there was no DNA. And so they did that to protect the Bahamas from, you know, just go to the mail and say, man, listen, let me give you one. Let me give you one $2,000. Just say this child is your child. You see?
All right, so we don't have the proper infrastructure in place to make sure that the legitimacy of the child is really a Bahamian.
Now, here's the problem. It will be difficult to put a DNA test requirement in there if you have a constitutional right to this. You see? You see?
Okay.
We in problems, and we need a new Bahamas. This thing that we got here ain't working out. This makes no sense. We got to fight this.
But it's already, like you said, this now is a Privy Council ruling. That means it cannot be reversed. That's what you're saying?
It cannot. That is the highest court in the land. That one named over. So remember, they've been talking about this. First, they say, oh, they're gonna just go to the law and just go in Parliament and just do it. And then they saw the kickback. They saw the kickback. So guess what they did? In January of this year, this case just started in January, you know. They sent it to the Privy Council. I mean, they used the old case to do it, but they did this in January of this year. All right? Because that's what their plan always was. They always wanted this particular. It was heard on January 17th, 2023. This was their plan, was to trick us.
And it's also amazing that the ruling came through the same day that the Shantytown 28 days was announced on May 3rd. It all came down the same time.
Yeah. And so let me show you what else. All of those Haitian men who are in the papers, and they are getting their citizenship, and they now have their citizenship. All of those persons that you've been seeing advertised in the papers, etc., etc., etc. Guess what? All of them, like what I have on the screen now, is all these people who just doing notice. All of them, all can now just say, "That's my child." You see what kind of trouble we in?
Well, Bahamians, we better rally up because it's time to stand up.
Because it doesn't matter if they're a biological Bahamian or not. Once they're people Bahamian, they can now, just like that, they need no more adoption. They just say, that's my child, that's my child. Let me sign for that, let me sign for that.
Okay, so I have another one. I have two other points because, like you said, they go in and they have a good argument. You know, we always said that Carl Bethel, way back, when Fred Smith made that movement where he basically set precedents, we don't feel like Carl Bethel put up the best fight. And we're getting the same thing now. We don't have the opposition putting out the best fight for the country, for the people.
We are the opposition and we need to be the government. Yeah, someone else has a question online, and I want to answer that question. Thank you for your call.
Okay.
Someone says that the Privy Council made a great decision for men, and number 6 was always there. It was always clear. Well, the Privy Council said number 6 isn't clear, and that's how they were able to make the decision they made. All right, but the Privy Council did make a decision that will benefit Bahamian men, and I think that is good. But there needs to be a safeguard. We should have had laws in place to safeguard that. All right. to safeguard. We need to know that that is the father because of our situation of being able to be overrun. And so if this is really about the men, how is it that I don't have access to my child? How does this affect the rights of a father now? This doesn't speak to that, which is what, so in the Bahamas, if the persons are unmarried, the man is not given the rights that a woman has. When biblically that shouldn't be the case, that's out of order. If this is really about empowerment of men, man should have all equal rights to his child. That's another story. Good afternoon, you're live. How you doing?
Everything cool, man. Everything cool. Look here, I just tuned into the live just a while ago. This is for the Bahamian people. My fellow Bahamians, it's time to wake up in this country, because what is going on now in our country is a time for takeover.
Yeah.
They had this in plan for years. Years. Bahamas, they had this in plan for years. That's all the Haitian women was teaching their children. Look here, the Bahamas is not for Bahamians. It's for the Haitian people. Listen me carefully now. Why do you think in this country, men and women walking their children to school every morning, going back to the school, pick them up every evening? You know the reason for that? Education. Once you educate someone and keep on pushing that within them, what you think gonna happen?
Listen,
right
man,
now,
you coming to the rally on June 2nd?
No, yeah, if I still in Long Island.
You need to get out of Long Island and you need to get to Nassau, and we gotta stand up and fight. It's time to fight.
I should be, yeah, I could be in Nassau by that time.
Good.
I have to take a trip just to come there.
June 2nd,
yeah.
the war begins. Time for talk is over. We gotta show them that the Bahamian people are ready to rise up and be serious. All right.
If the Bahamian people, if the Bahamian people don't rise up this election, these jokers in Parliament, they need to go now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They cannot be in there for another 3 years, because what they could do in another 3 years will blow the people's mind.
If we organize and rise up now, we could get rid of them before the 3 years. But it's going to take the Bahamian people seeing and coming forward. Thank you for your call, man.
We need about 10,000 or more Bahamians hitting the streets of Nassau.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll start on June 2nd. Thank you, man. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon. Hi. How you doing, Lincoln?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. First time calling here.
Thank you.
Like the last caller was saying, they had this situation planned for years, which I agree. Like, for instance, how the Canadians or Canada request a lot of Bahamians to come over. Like, they trying to basically call out all the Bahamians out of the Bahamas there. The Haitians probably could uprise and take over.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it, because I don't see Canada requesting for any other nationality when it comes to employment and, you know, given the authorization to come over. So I just wanted to let you and the team know that you guys are doing an awesome job, and I really do appreciate it, because this situation is very frustrating.
It is. It is.
Yeah, and I'm calling from Grand Bahamas. So
wow.
The next time you come in town, I definitely have to meet you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Looking forward to it. All right. Bye-bye. 803-5995 is the number you can call in. I just want to know, did you guys see the new Bahamian flag? The new Bahamian flag actually has the Haitian colors, because this is not aquamarine that's on there. And we don't have red. We don't have red in our flag. So the new Bahamian flag has the Haitian colors. You all better open your eyes. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, LinkedIn. Great show, by the way.
Thank you.
My question and concern is, question, what is, like, with the illegals that are coming over, how is that going to affect this constitution here? Because are they saying even with the legal immigrants, once they have a child with a Bahamian citizen, they become Bahamian?
No, not the immigrant, the child does. And I'll tell you what the next move from there is, because Europe went through this.
That's what I mean, the illegal.
Yes, Europe went through the same kind of metamorphosis. And that's why they got to the point where they had so much immigration problem that England just started saying, listen, we just exporting you. If your country don't want you, we can send you somewhere else. But next they're going to say that the child has a right to be cared for by their parent, even if their parent is illegal. So that is the rule in Europe right now. And I was shocked when I learned that in European Union laws. I studied in law school. So the child has a right to be parented. So if the child has a right to become a citizen because they're born there, now the child is going to have certain rights. And so that's where we're going next. All right?
Right. And then my concern is also with voting. I feel like this is a plot for the PLP and asking them to stay in. Because if these are illegal, becoming Bahamian citizens, they'll be able to vote in the next election.
Yes.
Because keep in mind, these are adults who parents came over illegally, had them with Bahamian male or females. Now they are citizens. And I think this is just a plot for more votes.
They are going to give out so much citizenships right now that it is going to be neck-breaking. It is going to blow your minds. And they're going to have more men coming forward and saying this was their child and that was their child and this and that. And this is a corrupt government in power. So they don't have to prove nothing. They could just let this person, listen, bring one affidavit, say that's your child. And that is what is about to happen. And they are going to flood us with new voters. And that is what the plan is. But we got to fight. We got to stand up. And so
we have to.
And so that's what got to happen. All right. So thank you for your call.
Yes.
All right. 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995. You can see that is your flag. Yellow, blue, it's like navy blue almost, and black and red. Wow. I don't know what to say. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to make a decision now if we're going to move 50 years forward or 50 years backwards. Dr. Masman will talk about this, and I think that we're ready to move 50 years forward. On June 2nd, we're going to start that process of moving 50 years forward into the new Bahamas. We're behind schedule, and it's time for us to move forward. I don't know how much more of this y'all could take, but I can't take this. All right? We have to keep this country the way it's supposed to be. Let me show y'all a picture of Haiti. Y'all see that? Someone guess what part of Haiti that is. Anyone? Guess what part of Haiti is that? See that right there? Someone guess. What part of Haiti is that? I'll wait. I know you got a little delay. I'll wait. What part of Haiti is that? Someone says Port-au-Prince. No, that ain't Port-au-Prince. What part of Haiti is that? Port-au-Prince? So the capital, Port-au-Prince. 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 Angie Clark always winning these stuff. Angie, we still got your book too, by the way. Angie Clark says that is not Haiti, that's the Bahamas. The part of Haiti that is the new country they're trying to make Haiti, the Bahamas. This is actually Awaki. This is Awaki right now today. What kind of country are we becoming? This is our key, you know. This is our key. The Bahamas. I have a video on it too, but I ain't played the video. This country is falling apart. How hard would it be to maintain our key? We letting that get taken over by foreigners. Good sweet awaki getting taken over. That's fish fry, to be specific. Not just awaki. That is the fish fry. That right there. This is the fish fry now as we speak. Go jump in the car and go look. It's behind the restaurants. This is the fish fry. We live in a country where we're going backwards. I went to Sanford. I went to Sanford, Florida. All right, nice town, Sanford, Florida. And the vision that we put forward for downtown Nassau, it was similar. I saw it there in Sanford, Florida. All right. This is me coming out of an ice cream shop. You know, I can find ice cream. This is me coming out of an ice cream shop. And the road is cobblestone, like we envisioned for Bay Street, because we're shutting it down. The traffic is going to be cobblestone streets. They almost look like bricks, but cobblestone streets. I mean, it's beautiful. I can take a good picture, but it was beautiful. On the sides of the road, they got flowers and plants instead of garbage and just boring stuff. They got plants, living live flowers. Flowers, y'all. Let me pull up this video so y'all can see. And I mean, it was just beautiful. It is the chairs outside, and you feel nice and safe walking through the community. And look at this. So we're in Sanford, and as you can see, this is the street. This is kind of like a downtown area. They have cobblestone streets, and they have a lot of these little boutique restaurants offering different stuff. And as you can see, they got flowers on the side of the street instead of looking like trash like ours does. But it's cobblestone, and there's restaurants with tables out everywhere. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hello, Mr. Bain. How are you?
I am awesome. How you doing?
I'm good. This is Francina Claire.
Hi, Francina Claire.
So, are you on your show now? Or?
Yes, you are live. The whole Bahamas is listening to you.
Oh my goodness! I didn't want that, but anyway, no.
Come, you done call in. You might as well say something.
Okay. No, I've been following all that you've been saying, and not only what you're saying, what other people are saying. Mm-hmm. And it's a crying shame that undocumented persons can come into the Bahamas and do what Haitians are doing. And it seems that the government is not doing anything to protect and preserve the Bahamas for Bahamians. And from what I've heard, you can't even buy land in Haiti, yet they're allowed to just come and squat and do whatever they feel like. What is the government doing? Who are they protecting? It's just crazy.
It's corruption. They're making money. The whole thing is corruption.
But I hope they know that there is a price to pay for corruption. And I hope they're prepared to pay that price.
Well, we are going to pay that price. They don't care. When they destroy the country, they're going to be able to move and go to any country and live because they'll have so much money that them and their children will be safe. They can destroy this country of ours, and they will have no consequences as far as they're concerned.
Oh, right, as far as they're concerned, but you know, it's crazy. The Bahamas is being protected all those years, and then after certain persons became whatever they became, you know, it's just like the Bahamas was up for grabs.
Yeah.
By anybody.
Yeah.
On any level. Yep. And that is crazy. So what is there then for young Bahamians? What is being preserved for them?
Nothing. They're destroying this country for young Bahamians. There's nothing to come back home to. And this is why we fight. And so we're looking forward to seeing you out there on June 2nd. Bring your family and friends with you. Tell them, come see the army that we are raising and see the shadow ministers who are ready to take this to the next level.
All the best.
Thank you for your call.
Go Bahamas, go.
All right. All right. I got another picture to show you all. This right here. This, I'll answer the call while you're looking at that. And we'll see if anyone can tell me where that is. Those, tell me where that is. Right. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon, President Bean.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good. And yourself?
Awesome, man.
Excellent. Bahamas. The minister says, I think they want to try to lower the work age to 16 to benefit Bahamians. But I feel as though anything the government does to benefit Bahamians, sit down, analyze it. That's only going to benefit foreigners, not us. Our kids should be in school at 16, not hustling. And another thing, President Bean, Bahamas, if you all want to change, if you all expect something different, you're going to have to do something very different. You're going to have to do something you never did in your whole entire life, Bahamas. You're getting your old age pension, you're getting your NIB, you're getting your salary. Some people, when they get that, they can't wait to give the foreigner that money every month to cut their grass. Richard, that's probably going to be $1,200 a year, Bahamas. Could you all please boycott all foreigners right now with your salary, your old age pension, your NIB? Look for an organic, honest Bahamian who can do your lawn, who can paint your house, who can fix your roof. Please, Bahamas. Thank you, Mr. Bain. Let's make this change so immigration could stop. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. 803-5995. Someone, Joey something, the name is moving, the words are moving so fast I can see it, but Joey something, you're right. This is Cozumel. This is Cozumel, Mexico. And what you're seeing pictured are cruise ships in their harbor. Jesus. You see, I keep telling you all, like Dubai has tens of millions of tourists now. All right. We bragging with the 7 million tourists that we ain't really do nothing for. That's just a cruise ship saying, well, this is the cheapest cruise we could do where we don't spend much money on gas and they still get a little experience. And so the cruise ships come close to us because we close. And that's how we're getting the tourists we're getting. And most of the tourists don't come off the ship in Nassau. But look at this. Cozumel is beautiful, by the way. You've been there. I want you all to count with me how many ships in this harbor, because we brag when we get 6, 7 ships. We make it sound like we're on top of the world. But we can count these ships, and all aren't pictures, but we can count the ones that are pictured here. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hello?
Hello, you're live. Yes.
Hi, Mr. Ben.
Yes.
This is one of your supporters, but this is my first time calling.
Thank you.
All I want to say to you is, listen, we have to learn to fight like the PLP. You can't be deeper in this. Let me tell you what Leslie Miller said. Leslie Miller said when something was going on that the PLP was in office, he said you got a bunch of little old white men up there in England making all kinds of mistakes that they don't care about us. We need to go back to the Privy Council and do something and tell them they have to look at this again.
Yeah.
Trust me. We got to fight like the PLP. The PLP have people in their party that isn't doing well with taking money and doing that. And what do? They fight them to the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
They fight for them. So now we don't start doing that. We have to take this back to the Privy Council Write to them, their old man up there in England, and tell them, listen here, you're doing an injustice to us in this country. Got me?
Yep.
That's my thing for the day.
All right. Thank you for your call. Well, I'll tell you what we got to do. We can't be dependent on these people to make decisions anymore. As a government, we can make a decision. And that's what we need to do. We need to move these people out of government. That's what has to happen, Bahamas. We have to move these people out of government. And we have to put a government that is for Bahamians. All right, let me count ships. One, let me see, make sure I have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Lord, I lost count. Where it was. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Jesus. 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. Jesus. That's how much ships more than that, because that's only a piece of it. We can't see all of them. That's how much ships in harbor. Jesus. And we bragging. If we got 8 ships, we on top of the world. I just counted about 80 ships just now. We can't even see all of them. Someone say, just say over 100 at one time. Jesus. It's actually the biggest cruise port in the world. Busiest cruise port in the world. And we bragging. I want us to own some ships that is going to sail to Cozumel, and we can make some Cozumel money. I want us to own some ships that's going to sail to Jamaica, and we make some Jamaican money. I want us to own some ships that sails to Labadee in Haiti, and Bermuda, and Barbados. I want us to own the ships that go to Florida. So Brave Davis them now have $1 billion some institution in England is going to give to them. You know, there's something behind that, but and they ain't going to buy not one ship. Not one. When are we going to get to the point as a nation that we stop borrowing to pay debt and start borrowing for things we can make money from? If y'all like the way things are, then y'all just support them. Let them put their stories out there, you know, Lincoln ain't no good, don't listen to him, he just lie, he owe one woman money. Let them keep running on with these stories while they're raping you and laughing all the way to the bank. They're trying to distract you from what's really going on in this nation. I like what the person, I can't see the name, Rudy, always flipping, begging, man, he says. So it's time for us to show if we're serious or not. And I think we're serious. We're having a rally on June 2nd at the University, what do you call it? The University of Wolf Road is what they used to call it. But it's Windsor Park. It's Windsor Park. So we expect you to come out. You can park right in the park or around the park. But you love parking right in the park. You'll be safe. Everything will be safe for you. You'll be safe and secure. You have nothing to worry about. They had us another place, but they moved us there. Because apparently, you know, some the other people are having an event there. Only in the Commonwealth of Narnia. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay strong. I want you to stay focused. We're going to win this if you talk to your friends and family. They've blocked us from the media. And so, of course, there's some people who think that we're not out there anymore. And the PLP has calculated that, even if 20,000 people watch one of his lives, that's only 10% of the electorate. And so we need that 10%, whoever it is watching it, to talk to your 10 people so that we get it to 200,000 people. Talk to your 10 people. Talk to your friends and family. They cannot stop us word of mouth from getting this out there. All right. And so, because Mexico didn't give those cruise ships any land. No, they didn't. Not a piece of land in Mexico for them. All right. They come to the port and they do what they have to do. One of the reasons the cruise ship started demanding land is because they're saying that Nassau town is horrible. There's nothing there. When I was a police officer on Bay Street, the ships used to stay overnight, all night. Tourists would be walking on the street in the night, even though nothing would be open, all the stores closed. It was shameful. A lot of the ship workers would be sitting on trying to get Wi-Fi. They would be sitting on the ground on Bay Street. Remember those days? The ships used to stay overnight. That was extra money. You could come as a stay over, stop over. But then the ship started saying, there's nothing there. You need to stop in and leave. And so they would come early in the morning. I would watch the ships every morning coming in. And then by some of them starting from 4 o'clock, you start seeing them leaving. So persons are just here for a few hours. It doesn't even make sense for some people to come off the ship. They come off the ship, go on the beach. Time is you get where it's time to leave. And so there's nothing. We need new vision, Bahamas. And that's what this is all about. We want a Bahamas that we own. We're going to pool all our resources together as a nation, and we are going to benefit from what belongs to us. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to empower Bahamians. That's it, and that's all. I'll take a couple of questions from you by text. See the phone stop ringing. I'll take a couple of questions from you by text, and then I got a date with my daughter, and so I'm letting y'all keep me late. All right, so I got a couple of questions that I'll take. So if you have a question and you can't call in, you want to put it on the chat, wherever you are, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, it'll come right there so we can see it and I'll answer it for you. All right. So the Bay Street is dead, nothing to do. Yeah, there's nothing for tourists to do, and that's what we want to revamp the Bahamas to having a place for tourists to go. All right. And so that's what we're going to do. When is the COI going to come out with their flag? So so I could put it on my car. Yeah, we're gonna order those flags, and we'll have those flags out there for you very soon. All right. Last time we ordered flags and we paid the Bahamians, I told them I did not want to buy it in the States. I'll get right with you, caller. I didn't want to buy it in the States. I wanted to support a Bahamian company, and it seems like someone else got to that Bahamian company. We paid them in full, and when the time came, they stalled, and they came back to us and said they ain't making no flags for us. And that was when election was coming up, and we went out of our way to work with a Bahamian company, and that Bahamian company, I guess it was political. They said, well, we ain't making your flags. Good afternoon, you're live.
Yes, Mr. Bain, good evening.
Good evening.
The problem I'm having with this ruling up by the Privy Council, if the Constitution of the Bahamas is the supreme law of the country, and the Constitution says that if a child is born to a parent not being Bahamian, or they're born in the Bahamas, they have to apply at the age of 18. How is it then that the Privy Council can override the Constitution? Wouldn't they have to come to the Bahamian people and do a referendum before this is?
That's how it should be.
I don't understand the legality in this ruling.
That's how it should be, but we have the Constitution, but the interpreters of the Constitution is the courts. And so the courts have the final say as it relates to the Constitution. And the issue isn't just what it's saying, it's how it's interpreted. And so because it was left open to interpretation, the Privy Council made the decision that they wanted to make. And they are the final court. So you can't appeal to someone else. All right? And so if the Privy Council doesn't want murders, they just interpret whatever's in your law a certain way to suit them. And they stall on murders. Because the government doesn't want to do the murders, They say, well, oh, well, the Privy Council is blocking us, but they're not blocking you. All we have to do is put the right laws in place and be clear. And in fact, in that judgment, it says it. If the government wanted to be clear, they could have been clear. It says it in there. I can show you in there in the judgment. They said, but they wasn't clear. And so because they wasn't clear, this is what we can do. All right. And so that's what they do with a lot of our laws. They keep them vague. A lot of our laws are very backwards. And so we need change in that way. And so this is why we fight, and this is why we want to make the change. All right. When we have a new Bahamas, we can have a new constitution. Go ahead.
So this is final now. There's nothing at all that can be done. This cannot be reversed.
Unless we have a referendum that says this is what we want. We don't agree with the Privy Council. We want to change it and make it clear that we don't want this and we don't want that. A referendum can do it, but the politicians won't do it because this is what they wanted from the break. Or we can move the PLP and FNM out of government, put a new government in power, and have a referendum to go republic or have a new constitution.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Or the people can rise up.
Yeah, we have to do that.
All right. So hopefully we'll see you on June 2nd. Good afternoon, you're live. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good evening, Mr. Bean.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm calling to find out why the government just don't buy all them buildings downtown and just fix them up so when the tourists come over, they get out, you know what I mean? More entertainment rather than all them buildings just being abandoned downtown.
Let me help you. When we get in power, we are going to do that. We are going to acquire all of those buildings downtown. We're going to transform the Bay Street area. Some of it is in our plans. If you go to our website, our plan for tourism, you will see some of it there. But we are going to acquire all of those buildings, and there are ways that those buildings can be acquired. I won't talk it ahead of time, but we're going to acquire all of those buildings, and that is exactly what we're going to do. But the government doesn't care to do that, but simply because they don't care. They're not going to do anything that they can't make money from. It's corruption. That's all it is. Why would they do it if it is not going to benefit them? A lot of those buildings can't naturally sell, right? Understand the dynamics. Most of those buildings are owned by oligarchs and these rich families and stuff, right? And so the PLP, if they acquire them, they would have to pay them and give them money and buy them out whatever those buildings are valued, which is a lot of money. All right. Those oligarchs would then benefit by the government doing that because those buildings is difficult to sell them right now because a lot of those buildings they owe a lot of taxes on. A lot of taxes. And so once the tax is on, you can't sell it, the tax got to pay first. You understand? And so they would help these oligarchs by doing that. And they prefer to let it sit the way it is and just let it stay and not deal with that issue. But also, because the tax is owed, you can acquire, the government can just take the building because of the tax is owed. They do it in the US. They do it everywhere. But they're not going to do that because of who owns the buildings. And these are powerful people who pay for elections on both sides. And so you need a government with the strength in order to get this done, to save our nation. We need someone with the guts and the leadership ability to get in there and do what is right, despite all of these complications and the corruption involved. So we need change. Thanks for your call, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Someone else was trying to call 803-5995, 803-5995. That's a number. I saw a couple questions there that I didn't get to touch on. Someone asked about the court decision with the shanty towns. Listen, this is exactly what Philip Brave Davis then wanted. I told y'all, we have to show force. They're afraid of the political effects of their actions. Come out on June 2nd. We always give you the opportunity to come out. All right. We are not procrastinating. We're not sleeping. We did not stop after election. We kept going. We've been working. We've not stopped working. We've not stopped fighting. We're giving you a chance to come out. This is a holiday. There's nothing to do. Come out on this holiday and hear what we have to say. See who the other warriors are. We're going to start putting out persons to deal with certain issues. Come out. Show the government that you are tired. That is the way. All right? You have to have a show of force. And as simple as that. All right? So someone asked that question, so that's where we are. All right? We have to get rid of these people. You have to do things you never done before. Bahamas, okay, I move too fast. Let's stand, Bahamians. We can't stand. Yes. Someone said they'll take someone else first. Yeah, they'll take yours, but they ain't gonna mess with them powerful people, because that's all of them in this together. All right. At election, will there be independent security measures in place? That's a good question. Let me get this call, and I'll go back to that. Good afternoon, you're live. Good afternoon, you're live. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Lincoln. Am I calling to find out if we having any motorcade to the rally?
We're not gonna do a motorcade this time. We'll plan one in the future, but this time we just want to focus on coming out to the rally. We want everyone to come out to the rally. They were planning a motorcade, but I told them, listen, let's just come out there, let's do the rally, let's focus on that, and let's do what we have to do. All right, that's who need to see. They'll see it from where we are on Bay Street. What they did with our motorcade last time was they broke up our motorcade. All right, when we were having it during the election, our motorcade was bigger than the PLP motorcade. And what they did was they started us out. And when they saw that our motorcade was stretched from COB to Yellow Elder, they pulled the police officers. And so the outriders left us, and that caused our motorcade to start getting broken up. And so it lost the effect. And so we are coming out, and this is the kind of tricks that they do. We're coming out, everyone come to Windsor Park. All right? Come in the park.
We can be there.
Come in the park, and let's make sure that we make this change. Bring all your friends and family.
All right, then.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right. So that's all I'm gonna do for the day. Like I say, I got a hot date. I love y'all, but there's a reason I'm fighting. All right, and there's a bigger reason I'm fighting. So who says motorcade? Motorcade means fun. Rally is a part of the war. I like that. All right. So we ready for war, man. We got to take this country, but they got to see that we are serious. See, sometimes it's good to just put your army out there. See your army, then they won't fight you anymore. You have to understand strategies of war. The art of war says the best way to fight is without shedding any blood. All right. Let them see your strength. The reason Russia and America has never gone to war is because both of them are so strong, they will not fight each other. All right? Because even giants are cowards. All right? The reason China and America is not going to go to war is because both is what they call mutually assured destruction. All right? That's what they call it. And so when they see that the Bahamian people are strong and ready to stand up, that they are standing behind leadership that is ready to fight for the Bahamian people, it's going to change the game. They won't be able to do what they want anymore. And so come out, stand up, stand with us, and let the government know, hey, the old day is over. Y'all ain't passing nothing else or doing nothing else that we don't agree with. Be serious with this. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, you're live.
Yes, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, wonderful. Just call to ask, are you selling T-shirt for June 2nd?
Yes, you can go to headquarters at any time in between now and then, and you can get your T-shirt. So the office hours for the headquarters is they're open Tuesday to Friday, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Friday, they close at 4. So Tuesday, so they close on Monday, but Tuesday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. But on Friday, they close at 4. All right?
Okay, thank you. So would you have flag also?
We don't know if the flags will be ready yet, but we will definitely have the T-shirts out there.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much.
All right, thank you. All right, so So make sure you are there. Bring your friends and family out. It's time to get started. We don't have time to waste with this. As you can see, we don't have a government that cares about us. We don't have an opposition. Not one law or policy was passed to the benefit of the Bahamian people since this so-called New Day government has come into power. Not one law has been passed to our benefits. The only laws has been passed has been to hurt us. They sham us. They still bragging about, oh, we reduced VAT 2%, but then you raise VAT on everything every day. And that's supposed to benefit you. You eat every day. You use electricity every day. You take medicine, many of you, every day. Those who take it. You don't buy clothes every day. So getting the 2% break on clothes, how does that help you? You don't buy shoes every day. Think about this now. You don't buy a car every day. You don't buy property every day. They swing you. You are now paying more. Notice how they are bragging about making more VAT money. It's because they put it on the items you need every day. What does that mean? You're paying VAT on insurance. You're paying VAT on electricity. When they put VAT on electricity, guess what goes up? The price of your food and every other business service that you're offered. Because the business person has to put that in the cost of their service. You understand? So when they raise price in electricity, they promise, Brave, this lie. Whatever he say, you could guarantee to go by the opposite of that. All right, you could tell the future by that. Whatever he say, go by the opposite. He said, oh, I will not let them raise the fuel surcharge and raise electricity. And a couple months later, it raised. And so once that raises, it raises on for super value. And guess what? They put it in the price of the food. Once that raises, it raises on Wendy's. And so they put it in the price of the food. Think about that. And so everything went up. They didn't save you nothing. And they're bragging about, oh, we gave a minimum wage, another $50 minimum wage a week. Listen, that minimum wage was to make them be able to get more NIB. That was the swing. And make more money come to them. All that money that they gave you is going back to them in taxes. That was a way for them to get more money through NIB and through other taxes that they taxing you for. Don't get swing. Wake up. Wake up. All right? Because 216, nothing to live on in this day and time. All right? We got to be smart. All right? So if you need T-shirts, go to the Pinewood headquarters. And get your T-shirts. All right? Go to the Pinewood headquarters and get your T-shirts and get ready. Get ready. Get ready for the new Bahamas. So, again, we're going to be there. We're going to rally. I'm going to set up the stage. We are going to introduce some. Every few months, we're going to put some more out there. But we're going to introduce our first set of shadow ministers that are going to hold our government's feet to the fire and deliver to you a snippet of our vision for the new Bahamas. It's time for a new crew. A crew who you ain't never seen before. And they were never interested in politics before. This is a new generation of people who are qualified Bahamians who are ready. It's time, Bahamas. It's time to take this country back. All right? I'll try and look at some of your questions, see if you had anything. They reduced VAT, taxing our head off. Yeah. 2% is nothing. Don't get swing by that 2% when they raise the things you need by 10%. All right, I'll take this last call and then I'll end. Good afternoon, you're live.
Mr. Ben, I have one more question. Are we going to have like dueling rallies? Because I know you said you're having one in Nassau, but are there any of them planned for any of the other islands?
Not at this time. We're just starting. We're just starting for right now. Remember, these things have expenses. Okay. We're starting for right now in Nassau. We're going to start there. There are people who are already saying that they're traveling to Nassau for this. We give them enough notice. And so some persons are going to be traveling to Nassau for this. So if you're serious, let's go. Let's do this. Get on a plane. Let's do it in Nassau. And then we're going to expand later to what we need to do. All right?
Wonderful. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, too. All right. So I'm sorry that's the last call I can take for the day. Like I said, I gotta go spend some time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We appreciate you. We are going to make this happen. We're not giving up on you, but we need you to stand with us. This is going to take funding. This takes funding to get this done, and we need you to wake up. I'm going to leave you with a couple of videos. I'm going to walk you through this. I want you to see this. You know, I want you to see this. It's a lady from Dubai, and she was talking about their benefits they could have in Dubai. And this is all we want, you know. We want benefits for our Bahamian people. Why can't we have benefits for our Bahamian people? All right? Just like this. We can. We can benefit.
What happened in Dubai with the citizens?
Monarchy, and monarchy take care of their people and make sure that they're paid 2,000 per family, maybe 3,000. And life is cheaper there. Life is cheaper, but all the Dubai citizens are paid, very paid.
From who?
From the monarch, from the king.
From the king?
Yeah, from the king.
Wow.
Money comes in through the government. The government distributes the money to the people. And there are no poor people. They're like only
Dubai,
poor people in
you
Dubai
cannot be
are
poor.
those that came
No
from
poor
another
in
country.
Dubai.
No poor in Dubai.
Just like Kuwait. They get money, like almost like American Indian the casinos. The money goes out to the people. Okay? And the only poor people in Dubai or Kuwait are those who come from other countries to work for the citizens that are there.
Wow.
And in Israel, if you're a citizen, you get a lot of $10,000 and $50,000, but you have to wait per person.
Wow. Bahamas. It's happening around the world. In the Bahamas, we are a rich nation.
We are a rich nation.
And the
beautiful
Bahamas
nation.
government refused to give us money. Change is coming
change.
to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
It's coalition time.
I wish all the best for Bahamas to be rich people. That's it.
Thank you.
To be the rich people in the world. That's what people think. We're rich people in the world.
Wow.
We just need a different mindset, y'all. Had enough of this. June 2nd, 6 p.m., we're going to rally. Make sure you're there and you're